Okay, this is the poem Dulce et Decorum Est by Wilfred Owen, published in 1921. This is what we're reading after chapter 15 of The Giver, when Jonas is given those memories of the Civil War. My inference is the Civil War because they talk about cannons and the gray uniforms and horses and things like that. Okay, so a little bit of a biography on Wilfred Owen. Wilfred Owen was an English poet and soldier, often considered one of the leading poets of the First World War. Many of Owen's poems deal with the violence of war and the effect it has on soldiers. During World War I, mustard gas and other chemicals were used to attack the enemy, causing great destruction and human suffering. As you read, take notes on how the author uses imagery to develop the central theme of the poem. Imagery is what the author uses so that way you can see what's happening and what's going on around you, okay? And remember, poems are not written in paragraphs, they're written in stanzas, okay? And your narrator is the speaker. You don't have a narrator in a poem, you have a speaker. Bent double, like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshod. All went lame, all blind. Drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of gas shells dropping softly behind. Gas, gas, quick, boys! An ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time, but someone was still yelling out and stumbling and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea, I saw him drowning. So don't forget that in World War I, they used a lot of chemical warfare. So there's not a green sea. It's probably just something that's been dropped on them, and it looks like he's drowning. Okay. Line 15. In all my dreams, before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dreams, you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his hanging face like a devil sick of sin. If you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues, my children, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory, the old lie, Dulce et Decorum Est, pro patria mori. So that's actually Latin, and if you have the actual physical copy of this poem in front of you right now, you'll notice these numbers, okay? And these numbers will tell you down here what these words are. So whether it is an English term or it's a Latin word, always use those numbers to kind of help you figure out the definitions. So Dulce et Decorum Est actually means it is sweet and honorable to die for one's country. So this is a really hard memory for Wilfred Owen to kind of experience. And just remember that Jonas and the Giver is experiencing not only the Civil War, like the Giver just gave him the memories of, but he's experiencing all the wars across time because he has to bear that burden for his society. That's a lot to ask of one person, especially a 12-year-old little boy.